Michael wants to yell and scream for a minute, and I don't
Yeah.
blame him because this popped off. This was something that happened while I was away, and I was pretty unplugged on my vacation by design. My brain needed that. And so when Michael was like, "Oh, I want to talk about this week," I was like, What are you even talking about?" So then I went and found the story, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I can see why he's got opinions on this." So I'm just gonna turn it over to you if you want to tell people about this and just let it rip, my friend.
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
All right. Let me see if I can do this justice or injustice, I suppose. So, Microsoft Copilot, their AI powered their algorithm or whatever you want to call it, Microsoft Copilot was demoed to be running an AI built version of Quake 2. Now, this has all kinds of problems at the forefront of talking about AI in game development and taking away the creative aspect to something like making games. But first, I do want to say, like, if you're watching this video version, or if you're listening to this on podcast, look it up and just see it in action. It is
Yeah.
horrendous. It is super low res, running at like 10 frames per second, and it is god awful because because it's being generated by AI. It's not statically built. It's Quake 2 level, but there's like weird things happening, like enemies.
Sorry, I'm watching the video and getting distracted because some bullshit just happened. I was like, what?
Oh,
what
God.
was that?
It's awful.
Sorry, go ahead, please.
Yeah. You like walk into a door and then the room turns like completely black, and because it's generating another room, whatever, and it doesn't know what to do with that. Enemies will disappear if you look away. It's like AI doesn't have object permanence, and it just looks like a blurry, surrealist mess. It looks like, what if Salvador Dali made Quake 2 or something, and not in an artistic way at all. It's just so weird. It's so odd. Like, why would you want to put this out? Why would you put this forward? Now, demoing tech like this, of course, is like, hey, this is where it's at right now, and it could be something even greater in the future. Even if you do want to go with that route, when you think about the curation of level design, like why something like Quake 2 is a classic is because of level design, because things are like curated by designers, by people developing the game. The way guns work, the way enemies are placed, the way combat encounters work. These are all things made deliberately by the human hand. It's all part of the creative process. The more and more you put AI into the creative process, the more and more you take away from it. And you get experiences that are so bizarre and so like, it's just so weird to have it in here. And
soulless.
It's a soulless recreation of something that was made so lovingly like 25 years ago. Like, there's no reason for this to exist. And what is the end goal to have AI in the creative process? Is it to take people out, to cut costs, to put out slop that is just some kind of approximation of things that we've experienced before? Like, no, that's not where innovation is going to come from. You're not going to ask an algorithm to construct a game and like be like, okay, yeah, now this is new innovation. This is what the direction of the industry, whatever. And maybe it's like, okay, this is going to be a tool so like people can work on top of that. I still think that's a terrible foundation to work off of. Now, if you want to talk about how AI is meant to streamline menial tasks that don't have the creative process in it, like take DLSS, for example, or FSR or PSSR, these anti-aliasing methods where you use a lower rendering resolution to AI upscale to a 4K image. That stuff, I've been using DLSS since day one, and it has evolved a lot. In a way, it's like more often than not, I'm using DLSS to run games better and have better frame rate. That is an element of AI that I think that can be helpful to the way games run and look. Like, that's been around for a long time, and I think it's evolved in a way that is very useful for people. But something like this, where you're like the actual creation of a game is beholden to AI, nah, we're cooked. And I think as this relates to Xbox, Phil Spencer back in February talked about Muse AI and this platform for like it's I guess more or less Copilot, but tuned for gaming. And he talked about how this could be used for game preservation and porting older games to modern systems. And that sounds like a goddamn nightmare to me, because like you giving something up to AI that needs the human touch, that needs that kind of insight. When you think about games that are remastered or ported and or remade, like those the nuances of that for someone to be developing that for a specific platform, whatever, those nuances matter. And preserving things like how an art style looks with a remake or a remaster is such an important part of the experience. When you think about preservation, an AI is not going to know how a game should be preserved or how it should be ported onto another platform. If you want to use it as a jumping off point, I don't think that's a great idea either. So I don't know. This demo is straight up trashed. And even if it is just a tech demo, this is not the direction in which we should be taking games.
It's foreboding, right? It's a harbinger of something of some place that the industry shouldn't go.
Yeah, it's awful, and I really hope that there's pushback against it. I know that, the thing too is, like, nobody asked for this. The masses, like people playing games, we're not asking for this. These are tech companies pushing this upon us, trying to convince us that this is something that we want. And right. That's just kind of like the business aspect of the big tech industry, of which Microsoft is a part of. And as a consequence, Xbox is also folded into it when Phil is talking about Muse AI and how it's going to change game preservation. And it's like, miss me with that. Like, this ain't it. And like, I don't want to say like, oh, I hope it flops. Like, well, yes, I do actually. But what I do hope is that the more and more that they look into this, the more and more they realize that this is not sustainable, and this isn't going to be a big step for the industry. It's not going to revolutionize things, and it should be either abandoned altogether or rethought of in ways that can be useful, such as like things like DLSS, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. Those are just some of my top level thoughts when it comes to this sort of thing. And I hope that people out there who are thinking about this, be skeptical about AI being in everything. Copilot is now on Windows, constantly asking me to do things, constantly suggesting, hey, do this. I can do this for you. I'm like, no, relax. I don't need you to in every part of my life. And when we things like phones and like all the Samsung Galaxies I covered like not too long ago, it's like, hey, we're putting our AI Copilot or whatever they call it. It's in everything, and it has become a burden in a way, more so than it has helped. And like I said earlier, no one's really asking for this, but they are trying to push it upon us. So be skeptical, ask questions, and look into these things more than just accepting like, oh, AI is the new big technology. Cool. Really think about how it affects not just your life, but the people who make the things that you love, as specifically when it comes to game development in this regard. So I don't know. Who knows where this is going to go? Hope it doesn't go anywhere, but it is in front of us, whether we like it or not.
And I think you make a good point about drawing the line between an AI being used to speed up a laborious human-led creative process, such as DLSS, or that. I guess that's maybe more of just a pure technical thing, but
sure, yeah.
But yeah, like assisting human creative input versus replacing human creative input. And that's, I think, where it gets problematic, and that's where you can make the pessimist's case or the cynic's case that, well, some of these big tech companies, maybe Microsoft, maybe not, maybe others, who knows, might want that because then they can lay people off and have AI do things for free. And I'm not saying that is the case, but that is a potential destination down one of these forks in the road. So like that's where it just gets really potentially problematic. And I will say, I mean, is Phil Spencer a genuine gamer who has proven it time and again and pretty much continues to do so? Because you can find him on Xbox Live, or he's playing games all the time. Yeah, his credentials are established, but he is also a very highly paid, 8-figure salaried, super high up executive at one of the biggest tech companies in the world. And so it's like, you know, he's also got these business interests and concerns that he has to weigh. And it's I'm not saying we shouldn't trust Phil, but I'm saying to do the right thing with stuff like Copilot and AI. But it's like Michael said, I think you said it brilliantly. It's just ask questions, be skeptical, and make your voice heard. If you know, we want games to evolve as a human-led expression of art, because that's you know, the whole our games art thing got settled with a big emphatic capital all caps yes a long time ago, and we want it to stay that way. So it's this is something to keep an eye on, not just in the coming months and years, but right now.
Yes,
right
for sure.
now. So
cool.
Keep your eyes open.